girls. Today I have a few minutes to sit with you and talk about a really big question. What is sex? So, I'm sure you probably have an idea already, but if not, the medical dictionary would explain to you of a male's penis going into a female's vagina. Pretty accurate. But what we want to talk about today is what is sex? There's got to be more to it. What does it really mean? What does it affect? And when you read today's reading in your journal, it's all about how it's more than just what happens inside of the body. It touches our spirits, our souls, it affects our minds. There's so many ways that sex, this gift of God, affects our lives and our bodies. So we're going to go straight to what does the Bible say about sex. So if you go to 1 Corinthians 6:16 through 20, and I'm reading from the Message paraphrase, it says, "There's more to sex than mere skin on skin. Sex is as much a spiritual mystery as it is a physical fact. As written in Scripture, the two become one." And so since we want to become spiritually one with the Master, we must not pursue the kind of sex that avoids commitment and intimacy, leaving us more lonely than ever. The kind of sex that can never become one. There is a sense in which sexual sins are different from all others, because in sexual sin we violate the sacredness of our own bodies, these bodies that were made for God-given and God-modeled love, for becoming one with another. So I want to stop right there, because if you don't know what sex is, and if you've never had a talk from a parent or a trusted adult in your life, or if you've never read in the Bible about what sex is, you're probably getting your ideas from media, television, friends, peer pressure of what sex is. The kind of sex the world sells us, the perverted version, avoids commitment and intimacy, exactly like the Bible's talking about. So that's not the kind of sex we're talking about. We're talking about the gift of sex. And really realizing that sex isn't a bad word. Sometimes we're like, can we even say sex? You've said sex like 10 times, Caitlin. Sex, sex, sex. Yes, because sex is from heaven. It's just that we've only known about it, heard of it, or experienced it from hell. So it's so important that we remember that sex is from God. It was His idea. It wasn't the Kardashians' idea. It wasn't the movie's idea. It wasn't Netflix's idea. Sex was from God. And so He has a beautiful design for it, a design of two people becoming one. And that's what we're talking about when we say it affects your souls, your spirit, your emotions, your body, your mind. Everything is affected because it's this beautiful bonding agent that is meant inside of commitment and inside of intimacy. Okay, some of you might be asking, okay, then why did God give us sex? Like, how is this a gift for inside of marriage? There's a few reasons that are all from the Bible of why God gave us sex. The first one is to create life. It's so that two can become one and then create family. So honestly, our sex drive and desire for sex is also supposed to be that drive to marriage and that drive to family. And sometimes in our current culture, we've forgotten about that. Another reason He gave it to us is for intimate oneness. It's oneness with one person for the rest of your life inside of covenant and commitment that you'll only know with each other. Another reason He gave it to us is for knowledge. And when you actually go way back to Genesis with Adam and Eve, it says Adam knew Eve. And it's this understanding of a deep knowing. When you're like, oh wow, I just long to be known and I want to know somebody else so deeply. That's what sex does. Another thing is pleasure. It feels good and it's fun. And it can feel really good and fun when you just have this one person that sometimes it feels like it's not safe. You don't know how to do it, but you're like, oh no, I can just completely let loose, be myself, and experience this fun and pleasure with my husband. The other reason He gave it is a defense against temptation. It talks about this in the Bible. You can read more about it in 1 Corinthians 7. And then the last reason is for comfort. It's such a beautiful thing inside of marriage when there's stress or whatever that we can be driven to each other to comfort each other. So there's so many beautiful ways that God has designed sex to bond and bring us together inside of marriage.